Hey, Lake Grove Church, Pastor Mark McElraith here, and it is November 17th, and we are on page 259 in our Reservoir devotional readings today. And today we are taking a look at the Gospel of Luke, at a very familiar story, Luke chapter 1, verses 26 through 38. If you haven't had a chance to read that, I encourage you to pause the video, go read that text, and then come back and join us. Well, as I said, this text is a very familiar text. It's a text we often read during our Advent season in anticipation of Christmas. It's the story of the angel Gabriel coming to Mary, saying that even though she is a virgin, she is going to be pregnant. But not only that, she is going to be carrying the Savior of the world. Can you imagine being challenged to do God's will like that? I mean, it would be a scandal and very frightening. But not only that, who would believe you? I mean, if Mary came to you and told you that she was pregnant and yet a virgin, would you believe her? I mean, this is truly impossible, isn't it? Yes, it's impossible. But then verse 37 says, nothing will be impossible with God. What impossible thing do you think God might be asking of you? I don't know. If it really is impossible, you probably think, like I do in such situations, I would think, God, I cannot do that. Well, it reminds me of a time when I think I was in fourth grade. And I was at a friend's birthday party. And at this birthday party was a magician. And the magician was doing all sorts of tricks. And one such trick was he had an egg. And he would have different of my friends stand up and try to crack the egg, and they could not crack the egg no matter what they did. Then he called up another kid, couldn't crack the egg over and over again. Nobody could crack the egg. Of course, it turned out the egg was a wooden egg. Well, then the magician called me up, and I went up and I was ready to do my best to crack this egg. And so with all my might, I smashed the egg in my hand, and yes, it smashed. It actually blew apart, and yolk went everywhere, all over me, all around, and it was wonderful. I thought, I did the impossible. Well, of course, no, I didn't. The magician swapped out the fake wooden egg for a real egg. I didn't do the impossible. It was the magician who did all the work there. The magician did it, not me, even though it looked like it was me. Well, maybe what God is asking of you seems absolutely impossible. You've seen people try to do it over and over, and it just doesn't seem to work. And yet, verse 37 says, nothing is impossible with God. You see, that's because it's not about you. It's about God. Nothing is impossible with God. So what impossible things might God be asking of you? Yes, it would be impossible if it really were all about you, but it's not. It's all about God. God is the one who makes it possible. So let's let God do that work in us and through us. Do that work of the impossible. And if you can, maybe say to God, just like Mary did, let it be with me according to your word. And then allow God to do the impossible through you. Can you do that? Well, after we end this video, I encourage you to take some time praying to God, allowing God to have his way in your life. And then watch the impossible happen. Can you do that? Well, have a great day.